The Black Stars secured a place at next year's African Cup of Nations after holding Bafana Bafana to a 1-1 draw. Mohamed Kudus netted the opener in the 49th minute, but South Africa's talisman, Percy Tau, found the equalizer 3 minutes later. Despite being under pressure for most part of the game, the Black Stars were able to take away a point. They now have 10 points, the same as South Africa, but the superior head-to-head record did the magic for CK Akono and his men.
Please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and don't forget to drop a comment.
So here is how I rate CK Akono and his players out of 10. For goalkeeper Razak Abalora, I scored him 8 over 10. As Ghana's star performer, Abalora put off some fine saves to keep the Black Stars in the game throughout. He managed to make an excellent stop in the first half. His good reflexes were a welcome skill in a game where the South Africans dominated and had the most shots on target. The only downside to his game was the goal he conceded because he could have done better with his defense. Another issue was his distribution of passes. He sometimes looked very uncomfortable with the ball at his feet. For Benson Annan, who was at the right back, he scored 6 over 10 for me. It was an okay performance from the MSK Zelena fullback, who took no risk going forward and overlapping most of the time. His good performance resulted in an assist to Kudus Mohamed's goal. He mostly maintained his shape in the defensive line that was mostly under pressure most of the game. For Abdul Ismail Ganiu, who was at the centre back, I will score him 7.5 over 10. Making his debut for the Black Stars, the Asante Kotoko centre back looked assured at the back, clearing every ball that came his way and reading the game quite well. Ganiu made some good forward passes and his timely clearances from an Abalora save kept the score at 1-1. He however struggled to handle South Africa's talisman, Percy Tau. He didn't have that telepathy with his centre pair, Nicholas Opoku. Nicholas Opoku scored 4 over 10 for me. Opoku had a day to forget at the office. He gave the ball away cheaply at times with risky passes. The Amiens centre-back, who was supposed to be the head in defence, also struggled against South Africa's danger man, Percy Tau. For left-back, Baba Rahman scored 5 over 10. The Chelsea left-back had a few moments that served reminders of his good old days, but his overall performance smacked off a player lacking form and confidence. He needs time to get back to his best. Baba Rahman offered little to the attacking potency of the team. However, he held good at the back when called upon. Captain Mubarak Wakaso scored 7 over 10. As the captain of this game, a lot rests on the shoulders of Mubarak Wakaso. The free agents did not make as much impact on the pitch, but his errors were less. He worked hard in the midfield to ensure that the attacking was quite good. He got tired towards the end of the game, and obviously that was due to his lack of playing time in the past 4 months. But above all, his leadership quality was top-notch. Ifri Aqua scored 6 over 10 for me. The central midfielder was a brute presence in midfield and occasionally bumped forward to join the attack. The Yeni Malayatspor player was wayward with his passes occasionally. He even had the opportunity to score from a pass from Baba Rahman, but his shot went out wide. He was average on both ends of the pitch. Aqua picked up a yellow card for a tackle on Percy Tau, which left the player hopping on one leg after the first half. Kudus Mohamed, he scored 8.5 over 10 for me. The Ayaz man was the star player for the Black Stars. His wonderful strike in the second half to open the scoring for the Black Stars was superb. The midfielder was targeted by the opponents and was constantly fouled on several occasions by the South Africans. Kudus showed great skill and composure to score his second goal in 2 games against the Bafana Bafana. He made football look easy with the ball retention and dribbling. No doubt he was rewarded for his efforts. Emmanuel Jesse had 6 over 10 for me. The right attacking midfielder had a good debut playing for the Black Stars in attack. The Spacer man tried to make things happen on the attacking end of the pitch. He showed flashes of a player that can create an havoc for defenders. He however had little support from his teammates. Better luck next time, Emmanuel Jesse. Kwame Opoku scored 4 over 10 for me. The former Porcupine was in charge of the left flanks of attack. which means he was clearly being played out of position. The USM Audio striker struggled to make any sort of impact in the game and mostly went AWOL in the game. He could be forgiven for being played out of position. Well, he was substituted by Osman Bukhari at halftime. To be frank, he had a debut to forget. Caleb Ekuban scored 6.5 over 10 for me. Ekuban played as a lone striker in this game. The Trabzonspor man was absent in majority part of the game, well, mostly because his colleagues failed to feed him with the balls. He was substituted in the second half after a poor display. So for the substitutes, Osman Bukhari scored 3 over 10 for me. The KAA gentleman had little impact in the game after coming on to replace former Kotoko striker Kwame Opoku. He barely troubled his marker. Osman made some poor runs, including an opportunity which could have resulted in a goal. It was no doubt that Baba Rahman had to overlap him on the flanks to swing in crosses. Emmanuel Lomoti had 2 over 10. His introduction did not bring any kind of impact as expected. He was anonymous after replacing Caleb Ekuban. Then Emmanuel Boateng scored 3.5 over 10. He had little time to make any impact in the game. He operated on the flanks at times but wasn't potent in attack. Coach Siki Akono scored 6.5 over 10 for me. He made things really difficult for himself, playing players out of position which made them uncomfortable. An example was Kotoko's Kwame Opoku, but he showed real bravery by substituting players who didn't give up their best. He took charge in most parts of the game, issuing commands on the bench. His choice of players and formation in attack was not the best of options for Ghana. Well, that does it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment on what you think about my ratings after yesterday's game against South Africa. Peace out.